called Inequalities in Two Triangles. Okay, so section 5.5 that we did on Monday was inequalities in one triangle. Remember, we looked at one triangle, and the opposite the larger angle was the longest side, and opposite the smallest angle was the shortest side. Okay, so today we're going to be comparing two triangles. So guess what? We're going to draw two triangles. And the first thing we're going to talk about is something called the Hinge Theorem. Hinge is just some guy's last name, so it's named after him because he came up with it. So basically, you're going to have two triangles. We'll call this triangle A, B, C. And we'll call this triangle D, E, F. Bless you. So the Hinge theorem basically says that if side AB is congruent to side DE, so those two sides are congruent, and then a second pair of sides are congruent. So we'll double tick AC and we'll double tick DF. If you have one pair of sides congruent and a second pair of sides congruent, then the third side is going to be dependent on their opposite angles. So angle A, we're going to put a small arc, and on angle D, we're going to put a double arc. If this theorem says that if angle A is less than, that's our less than symbol, so is less than angle D. So here we've got an angle symbol and a less than symbol, so don't get those confused. This is less than. So if angle A is less than angle D, then the side opposite is going to be less than as well. So side BC over here is going to be less than this one over here, EF. Right? Or if it was turned around and it was greater, if we just said if angle D is greater than angle A, then side EF would have been greater than side BC. Okay. All right, so let's look at how you're going to see it on some of your questions. So example number 1, you're going to be asked to compare the two included angles. All right. And just like when we were doing triangle congruence a couple chapters ago, you're going to see two triangles stuck together quite often, like we are here. So triangle ABC is stuck together with triangle ADC, and they have this shared side in the middle. Okay? So it's obviously, well, let me move it up. Yeah. It's obviously congruent to itself. Okay? So I'm just going to start by putting a double tick mark on it. Okay, you're going to see that often, all right? Then I'm going to tell you that side AB is 4 inches, side BC is 7 inches, side CD is 6 inches, and side AD is 4 inches. Okay? Well, between these two triangles, we've already got the shared side that's congruent to itself. Do we have another pair of congruent sides? Yes, we do, right? Everybody see the 4 inches and the 4 inches? Yep, so we're going to put a single tick on each. Single tick and single tick. Okay? That leaves this third side and this third side to help us do our comparison, right? So we want to compare the two included angles, right? So the angle opposite the 7 inches right here is angle BAC, and the angle opposite the 6 inches over here is angle DAC. So I'm going to put a double arc on it. We need to use a less than symbol, or technically you could use a greater than symbol. Okay? Just for ease of you telling me which one is which, we'll call it the top one and the bottom one. Which is less than, the top one or the bottom one? Well, you want to go to the opposite side. So over here we've got 7 inches, and over here we've got 6 inches. So which one do you think is going to be less than? The bottom one. So we're going to call that angle DAC is going to be less than angle BAC. Or if you prefer to write the greater than first, you would say angle BAC is greater than angle DAC. These two statements say the same thing. You guys see that? They're just turned around. It depends if you want to say less than or you want to say greater than. So you might write this answer and your neighbor might write that answer, and guess what? You're both correct, okay? Let's pretend it's a multiple choice test. It's only going to have one of those, but you need to be able to recognize, which one is it? Are they all with less than, or are they all with greater than? So you need to be able to kind of look at it both ways, okay? Any questions on that? All right, let's look at example number 2. This time, we're going to compare opposite sides. Put it up high enough, yeah, almost. All right. So again, we have 2 triangles. They're stuck together. Like I said, you're going to see that a lot. So we already know that side FH is the shared side. It's congruent to itself. So we're going to put our double tick there. Okay? This time, I'm going to give you some angle measurements. So down in here, this angle right in here, which would be angle FHE, is going to be 82 degrees. And this angle on the other side, bless you, would need to be, bless you, well, if that's a straight line, it would need to be 98 degrees. That's more than 90, but anyway, it's not drawing the scale, clearly. Okay, and we need to know, okay, this side right here is 7 centimeters, and this side right here is 7 centimeters as well, so we're going to get some some congruent sides. I wrote 2 C's, just one per centimeter, okay? So we have these 2 sides congruent to these 2 sides. We have the included angles, so we need to compare the opposite sides. So opposite the 82 degrees would be this side, and opposite the 98 degrees would be this side. Going this direction, I think it's really, really obvious which one's less than and which one is greater than, right? So we've got EF or GF. Which one is less, or the smaller, the least, the length? EF. So we're going to say EF is less than FG, or we could flip it around and say FG is greater than EF. Either answer is correct, right? Any questions on example 2? Okay, so a lot of the problems on your assignment, you're going to be looking at going either direction. No problem. Third type of problem you're going to see is like example number 3, where you're going to be asked to find the range for K. Similar to how we did it the other day, but not exactly the same, because there's going to be some algebra involved, okay? So let's look here. It's triangle LPN. And here's triangle LMN. And we need some measurements. Okay, 38 degrees and 5K minus 12 degrees. All right. So we've got this side right here is 15 meters, this side is 18 meters, this side's 19 meters, and this side's 15 meters. So right away we can see the 15 meters and 15 meters, so put single ticks. Then we've also got the shared side, so double tick it, okay? That makes these two angles right here the included sides, right? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say that we need this angle is compared to this angle. How? Is it less than or is it greater than? So you look opposite sides. So this side is shorter, right? That means this angle, 5K minus 12, should be less than this angle, which is 38 degrees. Okay? This part should be easy to set up. This part should also be easy to solve, right? You want to get the K by itself, so you add 12 to both sides. You get 5K less than, what is that, 50? Divide by 5, and you get K is less than 10. Okay? The second part of the inequality is when you're going to say that it has to also be greater than 0, because you can't have a negative side. So you're going to say that 5K minus 12 is greater than 0. And they don't pull that number from here. That's just, it can't be negative. That's where they're getting it from. You can't have an angle measure that's negative 5 degrees, or you can't have a side measure that's negative 6 inches long, right? You just have to have positive measurements. So you're going to add 12 to both sides. You get 5K greater than 12. Divide both sides by 5. I got K is greater than, and I did it on the calculator, so I got 2.4. Okay, so this is where we take these two numbers and we write the compound inequality. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to do it up here in this box right here. Okay, so we're going to put K in the middle, right? K is going to be greater than a number and less than a number. So we've got 10 and we've got 2.4. So 10 is the larger number, right? So it has to be less than 10. And 2.4 is the small number, so it's going to be somewhere between 2.4 and 10. Are you seeing enough? All right.